Olivia Holly, and I'll be reciting the poem, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all was that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who's, staring down at his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows beneath their town. For he knew every hoot and who beneath was busy now, hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming, for tomorrow he knew. All the Who's girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. You know, the noise. That was one thing he hated. The noise. Then the Who's, young and old, was it down to a feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They would feast on who pudding and rare rose feast, which is something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every dinner, Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. And they'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 50 years I put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming, but how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, what a great Grinchy trick. With his hat and his coat, I'll look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer, the Grinch looked around. And since they were scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said. If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, and he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn to the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, giddy up! And his sleigh startled down toward the homes where the Who's lay snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. Every Who was dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the chimney, empty bags in his fist. He slung to the chimney a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where all the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room. He took every present, pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums. Then he stuffed them in bags and one by one, very nimbly, stuffed all of those bags up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed up all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I'll stuff up the tree. The Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. Then he heard a small sound like a coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought of alarm. He thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the old Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there and I'll bring it back here. In his fib full the child, and he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who was in bed with her cub, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. And the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself with that old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that was left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving much too small crumbs for the little Who's mouses. It was 1/4 past dawn, all the Who's still in bed, all the Who's still snoozed when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with the presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up at the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip top to dump it. Poo-poo to the Who is graciously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths won't open a moment or two. Then every Who will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that he simply must hear. So he paused, and he put his Grinch hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising out of the snow. It started out low, then it started to grow. The Grinch stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. What the Grinch saw was a shocking surprise. Every Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or another, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, kept puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. The Grinch puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the second the Grinch's heart didn't feel quite so tight, he was low to the bright morning light. He brought back the presents and the food for their feast. And the Grinch, he himself, the Grinch, carved their